Joe Biden woke up today and said, hey, I want to post a picture of me and my little puppy dog, my mascot. So I say, hey, Bernie, come here, Bernie. That's a good pet name, Bernie, right? It's just a couple of syllables. It's very easy to understand if you're a pet, I guess. Bernie. And that's what he did. He said, hey, I want to do a video with my dog. And here's Joe Biden saying, here's what Donald Trump says when he thinks you're not watching. He says he's going to cut taxes for his rich friends, all while cutting Social Security for everyone. That's rich coming from somebody who has done both, or who has said they wanted to do both. You are on video talking about cutting Social Security being on the table to cut. You're on video. We've seen that many times. And then as far as rich friends, I remember Obama agreeing to some tax thing that Republicans wanted at the time. Democrats and Republicans. Democrats pretend like they don't want the same tax breaks for their friends that the Republicans do. They just make it seem like they always lose that battle. But here is Bernie Sanders being the mascot that he is. He looks so pitiful right here. And let's watch. This is sad. This is sad when you thought who he was, when I thought who he was, which I come to understand he was never that. We projected radicalism on him, but he was never that.
Because you are all people that have a lot of money. I know 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay off our debt.
Well, that's everything you need to know about Donald Trump. When he thinks the cameras aren't on, he tells his rich friends, quote, we're going to give you tax cuts.
Can anybody in America imagine that at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, billionaires are doing phenomenally well, that he's going to give them huge tax breaks? And then at the same time, he's going to cut Social Security and Medicare and programs that our kids need.
This is his.
And you know what Joe Biden's going to do? Take a bunch of money from those same billionaires. Bernie Sanders knows goddamn well that Joe Biden is despicable in this same instance. Bernie Sanders, during his campaign, played the Social Security video or audio on that commercial. I remember, and it was devastating for Joe Biden. And I remember Breonna Joy Gray saying he wanted to pull up after that blow to Joe Biden. And they didn't go harder at him about the Social Security comment. But he's being a good lapdog. Please don't give me the Nader treatment, please, Joey. Just looks like a fucking cuck.
His economic plan, that's what he wants to do? Cutting taxes for his friends? Cutting Social Security for you? That makes me mad as hell, quite frankly.
The hypocrisy is just outrageous. This is what he says to his billionaire friends. Not quite what he's saying at his rallies.
This is the White House attempt, because I saw somebody say, what the hell is this? Is this a reaction video? This is the White House's strategy to campaign, do retail campaign, but have a lot of surrogates help Joe Biden through it, because they know this guy can't do a regular retail campaign on his own. So that's what you're seeing. He's taking a lot of the talking weight, if you will, the talking part away from Joe, having him have to do less mental work because of his condition.
There are 1,000 billionaires in America, in this country. They pay an average tax rate of 8.2%.
Yeah, and how many of them are giving you money, Joe Biden? It's so funny. It's so funny.
Federal taxes. So I have a plan. We have a plan. Asking his good buddies to begin to pay their fair share.
You have one candidate who wants to cut Medicare and Social Security, and one who's going to protect it. That's why I'm supporting Joe, and I hope you will as well.
Thanks, pal.
And he's like, he pats him on the back. He pats him on the back like he's patting his butt. Thank. Good Bernie. Good Bernie. I'll give you some Scoopy snacks later. Get your ass out of here. Ah, this guy is fucking terrible. This guy is fucking terrible. I got more. So Bernie Sanders, and what is the title? Joe Biden and the Democrat Party treat Bernie Sanders like a mascot, and that's what you see here. And he happily plays the role. He is he's running deathly afraid of being turned into the next Ralph Nader, whatever that means. Now let's go to this other video. And I think it's where is it? Yeah, this one right here. He puts it out himself. He goes on Pod Save America. I played a different clip yesterday. This is another clip I found. Let's listen to the mascot.
Look, we are living in crazy times.
Now, when he's advocating, when he's giving you the difference between, listen carefully to his wording. Listen carefully to Bernie Sanders. I said it earlier how he carefully chooses his words here.
Look, we are living in crazy times, and the challenges that our country and the world face are probably the most dangerous for a very, very long time. This is tough stuff. And I think the first point to be made in answer to your question is people have got to understand what a horrific danger Donald Trump will be if he is reelected. If you believe that climate change is real and a real threat to the future of this planet and our kids and grandchildren, Donald Trump thinks climate change is a hoax. If you think there's something wrong when 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society, and we have an unprecedented level of income and wealth inequality, Donald Trump very clearly wants to give more tax breaks to billionaires.
So let's stop it there. Now, like I said, you listen closely to what he says here. Now, you might go, well, that's an easy choice. If you're Emma Vigeland, you would go and respond, well, this is climate change alone, you should be voting for Joe Biden. Remember she said that? That didn't age well, considering some of the projects, the Willow Project, the other mountain project from the rotating villain, the Kristen Cinema, and then what's the guy's name? Somebody's going to say here in the chat. Maybe I don't remember. Anyway, let's finish out this video here.
People have got to understand what a horrific danger Donald Trump will be if he is.
So anyway, I remember the point now, because Bernie Sanders doesn't say Joe Biden is going to do something about climate change. He said, if you want something done with climate change, vote for Joe Biden. He doesn't say that. He carefully says, if you just believe in the existence of a climate crisis, vote for Joe Biden. That tells you nothing about anything being done. In fact, something can be done against it. If we vote for Joe Biden, he can approve other lands, open up oils, all type of shit he's going to do. So voting for Joe Biden is actually going to work against climate change. And no one's saying to vote for Donald Trump to alleviate climate change. We said don't vote for either one.
Is reelected. If you believe that climate change is real and a real threat to the future of this planet and our kids and grandchildren, Donald Trump thinks climate change is a hoax. If you think there's something wrong when 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society, and we have an unprecedented level of income and wealth inequality.
Why would I vote for Joe Biden because of that? Joe Biden has not done anything to indicate he is against the wealth inequality whatsoever. Joe Biden leaned on the Senate parliamentarian not to raise minimum wage, sir. So what are you talking about?
Donald Trump very clearly wants to give more tax breaks to billionaires. If you think that our health...
And Joe Biden wants to send more weapons to genociders. Seems like a wash to me.
Healthcare system today is broken. Donald Trump...
So you hear, this is a threat. You think it's terrible now. If you don't vote for the guy who's not going to do anything, this guy over here is not going to do us anything. Genocide light. The guy who has the same dead bodies but just talks, has different rhetoric. This is where we're at. We're picking between genociders. How is one of them less if both of them are down for genocide?
Wants to end the Affordable Care Act and throw millions of people off the health care that they have. If you think that women should have the fundamental right to control their own bodies, something we have taken for granted for decades, Donald Trump will be supporting a national abortion.
He's already said he's not going to do that. You don't have to lie. Just tell the truth. He's bad enough where you can just tell enough truths about Donald Trump. He put the people on the Supreme Court that struck down the ruling. And the Democrats sat back eating popcorn as the Republicans had that 30-year plan slowly rolled out.
Ban and make it harder for women to get abortions.
Oh, so the people who had the chance to pass it with Obama but didn't, those people are going to save you guys this time. And they have less people in the Senate than they had that time.
So, and by the way, no tiny matter, if you happen to believe in democracy and the right of people to control their own lives, Donald Trump has made it very clear that he will take us to an authoritarian type of society. Those are the guys around the world, strong men around.
Do you mean like Twitter files kind of authoritarian? Or do you mean like trying to ban TikTok authoritarian? Which one are you talking about?
On the world who do not believe in democracy are his heroes. So it is absolutely imperative that we defeat Trump, clearly the most dangerous candidate in maybe American history. All right. Now, do I have disagreements with Biden?
Here goes the selling out your policies. To unite and put aside your policies. Yes, I have disagreements. He wants genocide. I don't. But Bernie would be saying the same thing with slavery. Yes, I want to end slavery, but what do you mean but? Joe Biden's for it, if this is the example. That's who Bernie Sanders. Social Democrats, what they call themselves, progressive Democrats, are spineless, untrustworthy, sometime allies at best.
Do I have strong disagreements with Biden? The answer is yes, I do.
I have strong. Do you stand on those strong disagreements or do you fold? How is a strong disagreement if you fold on that disagreement? How is it strong? What makes it strong, Bernie, unless you stand on it?
And I'm going to do everything I can to move Biden in a more progressive agenda.
Like you did this last 4 years with the Willow Project, breaking a rail strike?
But I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not going to allow.
Is this one of the babies from Gaza? Bernie?
How Donald Trump did become elected president. So what do we have to do? We have to go forward in a several-pronged approach. Number one, we defeat Donald Trump. Number two, at the grassroots level, we mobilize people.
You hear it now? You elect them, and then all you guys do the work of everything else. You see, you hear what he's saying? Why don't you mobilize people, Bernie? Why don't you mobilize the millions of people that were going to support you in your campaign, Bernie? Why don't you and AOC, two of the largest progressive figures in the duopoly framing, why don't you two? You guys can organize rally in all 50 states and do a tour, sir.
Not only to vote for Biden, but to support the many, many good progressive candidates who are today under assault from AIPAC.
Fuck the motherfucking squad.
And other super PACs out there. One of the very nice things that I think does not get the attention that it deserves is over the last 6-8 years, we have seen a real growth of young, often people of color, progressives in the House of Representatives. Far more, I suspect, than in the history of this country.
So he has to throw a shout out to the onslaught of AIPAC money and the target of being the squad and how they're gone. Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman is good as gone. They're as good as gone. This is their last stand. This is it for them. They won't be back for the next Congress.
Far more than when I was in the House in the 1990s. We got to protect those people from the assault that they're going to be getting hit with by super PACs. And thirdly, at the grassroots level, we got to continue the pressure for a progressive agenda, an agenda, by the way, which the American...
You mean pressure like when they protested you and you called the cops on them? Like that kind of pressure, Bernie? Which one are we talking about?
American people support. Healthcare is a human right. broadening the trade union movement, making it easier for workers to form unions. And we're making some real progress in that.
Do you mean unions like UWA, who sells out the workers and the rank and file by endorsing a strike breaker? That union?
A direction, moving aggressively, not only in this country, around the world, to combat the fossil fuel industry and save the planet from climate change, et cetera, et cetera. So these are extraordinarily difficult times. And on top of all of that, we've gone through COVID, gone through mental health crisis, going through that right now. But at the very least, Donald Trump must be defeated. All of us got to work on that effort.
This is like the third segment in a row. They all think we're all on the same team for that. Like that's everybody's top goal, and it's not. Let's read a couple of responses. I actually saw these responses first, and that's why I said, let me insert this into the show. And here goes Misty. You know, Misty is always here on one of our shows. Usually Nick most times, but sometimes I bring her on too. I was thinking about bringing her on this episode, but I just didn't, because of the scheduling and how YouTube wasn't working. I didn't want to invite her, and didn't work. But anyway, this is what Misty says. What an absolute fucking clown. Y'all have been pushing him left for 4 years, and he's worse than he's ever been. Shut the fuck up and go away. She's my anger translator, Misty. Let's see what else somebody says. Now, this is weird because they give him almost props, but then they also say, shout out the uncle. It's kind of weird. Let's read it. Let's read it. I will listen to accomplished progressives like Bernie Sanders and AOC than Twitter lefties who are uninterested in building any progressive electoral party. I read that. I was like, oh, this is a lover, because that sounds like nonsense. And it is. One, these aren't accomplished people. That's two. One. Two, you're not building any power in a Democratic Party. Like, get real. You're not building any power. Ayanna Pressley told Cori Bush, we vote on our own, ma'am. But they go on and say, although the statement is true, it's unwise to ignore millions of uncommitted voters asking Biden to be better on, and then they bring up the numbers. So it's kind of confusing because they're bringing up something against Biden, but then they're saying, I'll listen to Bernie. So it's weird. But look at that, uncommitted votes there. Look at that shit. People don't talk about, North Carolina that often. They've had 88,000. So these are, I don't look at percentages. I look at that sheer number, because they tried to pull that trick when it's first uncommitted before it happened. Oh, they had uncommitted before. Don't worry about it. When Obama, they had 11%. And they were saying it's only 13%. But then you look at the sheer numbers. The 11% when Obama did it equaled 20,000 sheer, the number. But 13% here equals 101,000. You see why you got to go with the raw number and not the percentage? It can be misleading, or at least propagandists uses percentages to be misleading on purpose. That is a propagandic tactics to use percentages. That's why they use it for crime rate. Crime rate is up 15%. But what is that in sheer numbers? 5. What? You see what I mean? It makes it sound worse when it's a percentage. But anyway, that was a short tangent. And then the Hampton Institute says this: Bernie played both ends by attempting to represent the working class while also siding with Democrats, and ended up playing himself in the process, proving again that it is impossible for bourgeoisie politicians to both represent the people and maintain a political. It's not possible. But that's what they want you. Oh yeah, I'm a politician playing I'm a clog in the war machine. I'm a clog in the U.S. empire, but I'm also fighting for the people. It's not. That's just made up.